Hello, 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 everyone. And guess what time it is? It's Sip Sip with Kathleen. And I am your host, Kathleen with the KP Martin. And you're tuned into Wellness Week. Super excited about all the amazing things that has happened up until Hump Day. And we're just going to just jump right on in. But before we do that, we got to pay the sponsors. Are you in Atlanta, Georgia? And you got documents that need to be notarized and you're trying to figure it out, you can't find anybody to take care of you. Well, guess what? Why don't you dial 404-618-9473? Why? Because my company will make sure that that document gets done immediately. All you got to do is text help and we will get in contact with you. We will schedule an appointment. Everything we do is very professional and we have 20 something years in the game. Just go Google us. And then when Nicki Minaj say Google us, go Google us and you'll see what we're doing. All right, let's jump on in. So we are in Wellness Week and we have been just digging deep into just the mind, the body, and the soul, just caring for ourselves, not forgetting about things that need to be taken care of. And that is what? Us. And it's, mental awareness and just loving ourselves and taking care of ourselves as far as our health and just sharing our stories. That's what this week has been dedicated to. So I want to make sure that you know that you're tuned in to episode 61, season 4. Through Cat Size Media is moving right along. And with that being said, I have an amazing woman on the show tonight, very dear to me, because I can truly say she added definitely a great situation in my life. You don't never know how people are going to come in, but the way she came in, I will share my little testimony when we get to it. But in the meantime, I want to introduce to you all, yay, Miss Lakeya Mitchell. She's a licensed professional
Hi, hello,
counselor.
hello, hello.
Yay! How you doing tonight?
I am doing well. What about yourself?
Awesome. I'm good. I'm good. Yes, yes. I'm so glad that you took time out of your busy schedule to be on this show. It was really important for me to make sure that I had some professionals to come in and just share so that we have resources to not have excuses why we can't get help or why we don't know where to go or just not knowing. And I knew you would be the perfect person for hump day jump day, so I'm
Thank
so
you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It's an honor to be here. Thank you for thinking of me and inviting me.
absolutely, absolutely. And she's the owner of Transfiguration Counseling, and you're virtual, so anybody can see you, right? Is that how?
Absolutely. As long
Okay.
as I'm licensed in Texas, Georgia, pending in South Carolina, and I'm also licensed in Florida. So I'm licensed in 4 states. If you're in any of those states, you can come and see me.
Yes. Okay. So I'm going to share my story of how I met you, but what I want to do is just break the ice. Tell the people, for those that do not know, what is a licensed professional counselor? What is that?
Well, a licensed professional counselor is really just a certified counselor. So sometimes you have people who are just counselors and they don't have a license. But this means we learning and burning. So that means we tested, we approved by the state, we governed by the state, and if you feel like we doing things wrong, you can always report us.
Oh yes, that means that you get your that. That means that if complain, they can do something to your license. That's what that means as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. So you go to school. Once I went to South University, I got my master's in professional counseling. After I finished, I had to take a test to be certified as a counselor to be active in Georgia. And so they give us a lot of rules and regulations that keep us governing, keep us appropriate, have appropriate relationships with our clients and make sure we're doing things appropriately. So that means that I am certified. I have the education,
Yes.
not only to support the knowledge that is inside of me. So that is saying that we are approved to do what we're doing.
Okay. 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 Now, explain this because on this show tonight, I really want to throw different terms around that just we may have heard of in life, but it'll make sense as we're digging deep. Um, what's the difference between a counselor and a psychiatrist?
So I think people usually use those words interchangeably. They also include psychologists in there. So,
You know, I
and I
tried
try
to think of that. I knew it was a word I was missing, so I apologize, y'all.
no, you're totally okay. Totally okay. So I got your back. I got your back.
Thank you.
So you have a counselor, a psychologist, and you have a psychiatrist. I think the best way to remember a psychiatrist is medication. Okay.
Okay.
We go to a psychiatrist for medication. Now, sometimes we go to a psychiatrist thinking that they're going to provide us counseling and medication. Most of the time, when you go see a psychiatrist, they only going to talk to you about 15 minutes, get to know your symptoms, and give you some medication. That is what a psychiatrist does. Okay. When you go to a psychologist really is going to do a lot of testing. I don't know if you have ever heard of like career tests and love tests. If you watch Married at First Sight, they
Yes.
do a lot of psychologist tests. They go through a slew of tests, and that's what psychologists do. So they match you up. They do testing according to your skill knowledge, your knowledge base, or the things that you feel that you find important to you. And then they counsel you. Psychologists can counsel you. They counsel you based off of that testing. So say like if your child is having trouble with developmentally delayed, you go to a psychologist. They will do a full range of IQ tests. They do IQ tests. They do tests for autism. They do tests for the spectrum. They do all types of tests to see where your child is or what's going on with you. And they also diagnose as well. Now, counselors, we counsel. You know, we
Right.
counsel, we are able to diagnose as well. We provide counseling. We try to get you to a place where you are able to walk through or work through the feelings or the concerns that you're having, and we help you to walk through those without medication, and we help you to get a proper diagnosis, and we help you to work to a place where you at a better mental health place. Can you hear her feedback?
Yes, I can hear you. Let me make
Okay.
sure. Let me see. I want to make sure there's no anybody. Let me see. Give me a second. I want to make sure nobody's getting anybody hear any feedback. I want to make sure y'all because I want you to like not. But I can hear you.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure because I can hear feedback on my end. I don't know
Okay.
if you were
Okay.
hearing that. I didn't
Are
want
you
no.
wearing Are you wearing a headset or what you? Yeah.
I know I'm talking on my Bluetooth, I believe, but it sounds like we're on speaker.
Um. Turn. Can you feed through just the phone and then see? Yeah, without the Bluetooth because
Well,
this
that's
it'll
actually
still
what I'm
work.
in. Let me see
Yeah, it'll
my
still work
phone.
because you will make. Yeah, we don't want to miss none of this.
Okay, but
Yeah.
they can hear me, right?
Yeah, they can hear you. They can hear you.
Okay,
And I
good.
can hear you. Yeah,
All right,
I'm
so I
all
just
in.
wanted to make
So,
sure you didn't hear the feedback. Um, and so a counselor just we counsel and we provide direction and help and assistance along the way, but we don't provide medication. That's really the difference.
now I want to jump into that. I remember that I have a son, and I remember when he was smaller, and he used to struggle with his schoolwork and didn't know what was wrong. Hello, come to find out he was diagnosed with dyslexia, which a lot of parents are in denial about it. They don't want to do anything about it. But I'm one of those moms. I jump in. I jumped in, and he had to get his battery of tests and all of that, and just different things. But it was to help him to be better, and I can truly say it definitely like knowing the diagnosis early really helped a lot, and I was able to put him in private school that definitely specialized with that situation, but it just helped. So yeah, I remember going to my son's what 27, so I remember going what 25 20 some years ago. So yeah, I remember those days. Yeah. Sure do. Yep, yep. But I'm glad that you explained the difference because a lot of times we don't know. And then when you're in crisis, you don't know who to call. So that
Absolutely.
leads me into my next question. If someone is in crisis, what would be the first thing that they need to do? Like, say, let me see. Say they just really struggling, like having a hard time at work, and they just really can't, just can't really like pull it together. they're crying all the time, and they're going and they just hating that job, and they're really, really struggling. If they was in a crisis like that, what would be like, what would they need to do to try to get some help?
I think the first thing they need to do is be willing to reach out for help.
Yes.
A lot of times we suffer in silence. We are afraid. And I understand that because sometimes we are judged by
Yes.
people, or we hear things like, come on, you can get up out of bed. You stronger than this, you bigger than this, you better than this. And people don't necessarily understand that sometimes they're not. And it
Right.
doesn't mean that they're not weak. They're not weak. It doesn't mean they're weak. It means that if you're strong enough to reach out to help, you are the bomb. Because
Exactly.
sometimes we suffer in silence, and it's not fair, and people don't understand. That's why we see things on TV, people committing suicide and hurting themselves because they feel alone and they don't feel like it's any help, or if they do go to someone, they feel like people will judge them. Well, they first need a safe space from someone that will allow them to say, "Hey, I'm not okay," because it is definitely okay to not be okay.
Wait a minute, Lakia. Uh, you see if you could turn um the earpods off or whatever, because I don't want them to miss any of this, and I want to make sure I can hear you, but it like, I don't know if I'm sounding really clear to you. If I'm sounding really clear to you, just feed off your speaker from your phone. It'll work. I promise you. I promise you. Because
I think that's what I was using. That's what
you
I
what?
am using.
Okay, then okay. Try the earbuds. You got
Okay,
it.
hold on.
Yeah. Because I want to make sure. Because ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching this, or if you know somebody that's going through some things right now, I really want you to get out your pen and your paper, and I want you to take notes on this, because this information is very important. I don't want not one more person to struggle and not know what to do. And Lakia is the bomb.com. I can promise you that. Like I said, I have a short story to share, and I'll get to that eventually. But okay. So yeah. So can you hear me? So
I can still hear you,
okay. It's
but
just
it
that
is muffled. I can hear the feedback.
okay, okay.
Let
Because
me
I
see
don't
if I
have
can
anything
connect
I don't have
another way.
anything going
Hold
on
on.
different than I normally do.
Hold on just a second. I'm going to try to connect another way. Hold on.
Okay, okay. But again, y'all, just make sure that you share this with at least two people that are on your timeline. I mean, on your friend list or whatever, because we want people to be okay. This week was dedicated to power of knowledge. When we know things, we're able to deal with it a little bit better instead of just being stuck. And that's why we're here tonight. That's why we're here tonight. So get comfortable, and we're gonna get to it. Yep, yep, yep. Yep. So while she's doing that, I'll drop in another seed. If you are a female and you are looking to be part of a 30-day uh, Know Your Worth class, we are hosting this. Me and Angela Brooks Reese, we are hosting something like that. And I would love for you all to sign in for the class. It will be on Eventbrite. Today is Wednesday, so it'll be an Eventbrite no later than by tomorrow. And it's really just digging deep into yourself, trying to get us to where we need to be for ourselves. Okay, let's get Lakia back in the screen, y'all. Okay. Hello, hello. Can you hear me?
Hello, hello. Can you hear me?
All right. There it go. Woo! Let me drink my water. Like Mark.
I'm sorry, guys. Sorry for the interruption.
That's okay. That's okay. No, we still right here. We still amazing. Everybody's still here. So yeah, so we want to go back to what you were sharing. You were sharing that, for someone to even say that they need help, that's the first step. Okay.
Right. So, and then they need to have a safe, secure space. You don't have to know what to say or how to help, just long as you're safe in a secure space. And when I say safe and secure, I mean that they could trust that what they're sharing with you won't go to someone else,
Right.
and that there's no judgment there.
Right. Right. Right.
So I think that in Georgia, you can always call, if you don't know what to do, you can call 1-800-715-4225. That is mobile crisis number. Mobile crisis covers the whole entire area of Georgia, and they'll come out to your home. They'll come wherever you are. If you're on the street, if you're on the corner, they will come and they will send help. But if
Wow.
you're nationally and you're not in Georgia, then you can call 1-800-273-8225. And that's the National Suicide Hotline. They'll get you the help that you need. Mobile Crisis in Georgia will also schedule you an appointment. If you don't want somebody to come and you just want to get an appointment to mental health services, they will also schedule you an appointment.
Okay. And I'm glad you said that. And everybody that's watching, I am going to make sure that I put this information in the bio because I did not have it before today. And I'm going to make sure because it's really important that we share. Y'all can share all this stuff while people pop locking and dropping it. You definitely need to share this because this is somebody, this could save somebody's life.
Absolutely.
So this is very important. So, okay. So let me ask you this. I had a situation the other day and I was explaining, I was dropping this term, this name of something, and they did not know what it was. Back in the day when we used to start working at companies made sure that we knew what our benefits were. We had benefit meetings, and now life is totally different. You pretty much learn whatever he or she puts on your desk, that's it. You got to figure out the rest. I want to drop this. EAP. Some people don't know what it is. Please share that.
EAP is really an incentive through your job. So
Yes.
it's the real name is, or the full name is Employee Assistance Program. So
Yes.
most jobs does have a employee assistance program, and one of the incentives that is included is normally free counseling services. Yes,
Yes.
yes. Free
Yes.
counseling services, and it also normally it is. Some jobs do offer it to cover some of your family members as well.
Yes.
Now, from what I've understood, most companies offer about 5 to 6. Um,
Eight. Eight.
5 to 6, and
No,
you
no,
got
no, no.
8.
I'm saying that because I know they say this girl, she got to jump into everything. She got everything going on. Well, you know what? If I can't be transparent, I don't need to be on my own show. Hello, how you doing?
Absolutely.
But I remember 2019, I used it at my job. I used to work at Northside Hospital, shouts out to Northside and Cancer Research. And I had a manager that, yeah, I did not like her. Like when I tell you, I used to get so mad. And anybody know me for the most part, I'm like Smurfette. I'm kooky, I'm calm, I'm all over the place or whatever. But for me to get that upset at work all the time about something like allowing somebody just to take me there, and I called and they got me. I had 8 sessions, and when I tell you to this day, that is still the therapist that I see, and she was amazing. She was amazing, and the way it works, they get you. You get a list and you call around and try to set up an appointment, and that's what I did. And I can truly say, she really helped. She really helped me because I used to be mad, like like going in the car crying. One day I told that lady, I said, "You the coldest piece of ice I ever met." I was getting written up as usual, as always, and I was like, man, this is crazy. I was like, I don't even know how you got this position. I mean, they must have felt sorry for you, yeah. But anyway, that's besides the point. But I was not afraid to get the help that I know that I needed because I could not be good for my family. I could not be good for myself because I'm getting mad and I don't know where that would have went because I'm not even, how people say, well, you're not even that person. I think sometimes you go places that you wouldn't have, that you can't control, I guess, or you wouldn't have, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that EAP is the truth. So if you're working a job, definitely make sure you check and see what your benefits are, because that is, if you're afraid, well, I don't have any insurance or I don't know how much it's going to be, don't let that be the reason why you don't go get help.
Absolutely.
And she just gave you good resources that I'm definitely, like I said, I'm going to put in the bio. So, hey, I'm just saying. So Lakia has her own company called Transfigurations Counseling. when you were a little girl, did you ever think that this is what you were going to be doing? Did you think this was going to be the calling on your life, to be able to everybody pouring into your cup? You got to hear everybody's stuff and it's just flowing over. Did you ever think that you were going to be that person?
I want to say when I was a little girl, I wanted to be a nurse, but by the time I was 14, I knew that I wanted to be a therapist. The way Transfiguration came, um, Transfiguration is founded on trauma. Me going to counseling, going to a therapist. Shouts out to Chris Rice. She was a therapist that I went to see when I was 12 years old. And the trauma I experienced should have been shattering, but because of what she did for me, the counseling that she gave to me, and how she helped me to work through it, when I got finished with counseling with her, I said, when I grow up, I want to be like her. So when I went to college at Savannah State University, Savannah State University, home of the Tigers.
Yep.
When I graduated, I sat down and I penned a letter to her, just telling her thank you for the seeds that she sowed in my life. And because of her, I was going to school to get my master's in professional counseling, and I was going to be just like her.
That is powerful, ladies and gentlemen, because Lakia's a therapist, and she had a therapist.
And I still do.
Exactly. I don't think that people understand. We've had someone on the show, one of my classmates, and Lasana, she was, shouts out to Lasana, she was saying that she had a therapist as well. And I think that it's important for y'all to have that, because y'all are just, taking in everything. Yeah. And we really appreciate, the space that you occupy, because I don't even know what this world would look like if we didn't have somebody to talk to that is trained to be able to help us with what is going on.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Is it any situation, because you can't, because of HIPAA, you can't share anything, but is it any situation that you really was proud of the work and the knowledge that you were able to assist somebody with, that it just made you be like, man, I'm so happy to watch this person thrive?
I'm trying to think of one. I have so many, honestly.
You better say it.
I have so many, because I think what I'm learning is that healing is a process, right? And so what we want to do is we want things to happen like ASAP, like fast.
Microwave.
We want it fast, right? But what I have learned is that healing is a process. So every step that you make, every little step. So if you were depressed yesterday and you found strength to get up out the bed, that's healing. That's a piece. It's pieces. It comes together in pieces. So every time I have a client that walk in my door and they're crying and they walk out with half a smile, that's healing.
Exactly.
That's healing. I'm proud of the step that they made to come to counseling, because I know most of the time when people come to counseling, they are nervous and scared.
Yeah.
So I always start off with, I am so proud of you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You made a step today. You didn't know what was going to happen, but you decided to choose yourself, and you chose you, and you showed up here. Yes. You are doing a great job. So every time somebody walks in my door, they are a success story to me. They are. I really am so proud of them, because that means that they realize I need some help and they reached out for help. I'm all with it. So I'm excited for them.
Well, I want to share my testimony right now. Like I said, hey, the name says Kathleen, so I guess I can talk anyway. But anyway, the reason why I knew that Lakia was a great fit for this is because October 2021? October 2021?
21.
Yeah.
Earlier in the year.
Earlier. My daughter, y'all know my kids in my heart. You see me talking, the ones who know me know I talk about my kids all the time. So I'm just going to share a little bit. My daughter started being different. And it was different to me because I didn't know what was going on. I was like, wait a minute. Because Khalil is he's the one that's bubbly like me. Kira is pretty much like, yeah, Okay, whatever, and she just was being different. I was like, what's going on? What's going on? And I think one day, she told me, Mama, it goes back to what you said. She said, Mama, I said, come on, we gonna be late. We're gonna be late to school. You gotta come on. And she was just like dragging, and I was like, something's not right. Your spidey senses go off as a mom, as a parent. I was like, something's not right. And she just was dragging and dragging. And then I started paying a little bit more attention to it. Like when we would go into the store, she would be walking behind me. And when I walked and I stopped, she would stop. When I walked, she would walk and then she would stop. And then it seemed like she was just stuck. And I was like, man, something ain't right. So I reached out to my aunt that's a psychiatrist. And I told her what was going on, and she gave me a diagnosis what she felt like it was what it was. So then I reached out to my therapist that I go to, that I told you that I got from EAP, and I told her, and because by then I was in tears because I felt like as a mom, what's going on? Like, she's not the same. She can't do what she wasn't doing stuff that she normally does as a child. And I was like, and I mean just regular getting around the house, getting in the car, going in the store, just regular normal stuff that we have to do. I honestly, so at that point I took her to the doctor because I was like, maybe I need to get her checked for like a brain tumor or something. I mean, that's just how deep it had gotten for me, right? So then I started praying and stuff, and then I started doing my research. So then I was sitting at her school one day. I went to pick her up, and I still got this video on my phone. I went to pick her up, and she was coming outside with her friends. No, wait a minute. Were they back in school yet? Wait a minute. Let me think. Because Kira was on Zoom. She was on no, correction, y'all. I'm sorry. I was in the living room, and when COVID, because after COVID, when COVID was going on, I would always make her meals. I would cook her breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then I would be gone. I'd be gone, go to work, and then I'd be doing my walk every day. So when I came home one day, I was like, I came to hug her. I was like, come on, let's do our exercise. She's like, no, I don't feel like it today. And then she just started crying, saying, I'm overwhelmed. And I was like, I just hugged her. I was like, what's wrong? And then I realized this kid had been in the house. When I was going out, she wasn't going out unless I made her go out. When I would go walking, she wasn't going walking with me. This kid was doing homework up until when I'm asleep, she's up doing homework at 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning, getting on Zoom at 8 o'clock, just trying to perfect that thing, but just overwhelmed. Then I realized my child was not clinically depressed, but what's the word? Part of it was a little depression, but as well as she had OCD. I had never heard of OCD like that. I just thought OCD meant you a person that clean all the time. I didn't know what that was. So so then fast forward to the day that I went to pick, because by then Kira was back in school. I sent her back to school because her grades had just changed. My daughter's an A student, so her grades were like struggling. Like I was literally having to help her do her homework, and that was the most hardest thing because she didn't want me to do the answer. She didn't want me to do anything. I guess she just needed me there or whatever. But she used to get upset with me, and I wouldn't let her see me cry, but I'd go in another room and cry, be like, man, what am I doing wrong? So we was at the school, and she was coming out with her friends. Her friends didn't know what was going on, but I'm sitting there and I'm watching her. I'm watching her struggle to get to the car, where it normally don't take her more than about 5 or 10 minutes. But she's struggling. She's just like stuck and going back. And I was like, okay. I was like, all right, look, Lord, you got to give me something. So I'm studying on my phone. I'm looking for something. And I found a program. And I'm looking for a therapist. And I see this amazing queen from Savannah, Georgia. I was like, this is the perfect fit. My family's from Savannah. This is going to be the perfect fit. Okay. I reached out to her from day one, people. From day one, Lakia was on it with my daughter. She was on it, and she had to get me together because there were certain things that I was doing that was not helping her to get through that. I thought I was supposed to just be cuddling her. Her dad was, her dad was, her dad thought a different way about it. Her stepmom thought a different way about it. My son thought about, but me, I got to just hold my baby. I just got to hold her close because I'm not going to be the mom that I needed to be. And Lakia brought me all the way from zero, all the way back around, and she got me together to be better, to be her caregiver. She got she included the whole family. Her dad was able to see what was going on, and Lakia would be on Kira, and Kira would just be like, man, she liked to go to therapy, but she just was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. She just, just was all over the place. And every day I would just work with her. We would just do different things. We would play Uno. We would paint. Whatever Kira wanted to do, I did. But I learned how to do it the right way to be successful to her care. And that's why I said therapy helped, because if it would have just been me doing it, I don't think I would have been able to do it right to be able to help her get to where she is today. My daughter, do you understand? And I tell Lakia all the time, my daughter went, like I said, her grades were really good. And when she went through all this, her grades started struggling. Like she wasn't getting the good grades because her work wasn't getting finished.
That's right.
When Kira said to me, she said, I will not be like this. I'm not going to live my life like this. And my daughter's a musician. That girl started playing, because we were buying all kinds of stuff around here, because Kira plays the flute. Kira plays the piano. Kira's playing the sax. She wanted a harmonica. I don't know where she's gonna play that at, but anyway.
She writes. Don't forget, she writes. She writes songs.
Exactly. Like, she does a lot. Like, she's like, her grind was amazing. And because Miss Lakia is like that, the program is amazing. Like, she did the work and she kept on, staying with Kira and helping her. And she's, she just did what she does, and she cares. And my daughter knew that she cared, because anybody know my daughter. Anybody knows Kira. Kira won't just mess with anybody. She's not gonna, if she don't feel like you, whatever, she ain't gonna say nothing to you. She's just gonna look, and she's not gonna say nothing. So to accept Lakia in her life, to help her, that was the best thing that could have ever happened to my family. And I watched my daughter, like, she on fire. This girl's and I was like, oh my God, I kept on the tea. I say, hey, she a marching band. I don't know how she gonna get around if she can't even walk upstairs. But that girl in marching band, she doing all her stuff, grades on point, just on fire.
Yes.
On fire. So I tell you, I say all that to say, because I talk a lot now. I say all that to say, please, like she said, don't be afraid to get the help. If that's what you need for whatever is going on with you, seek that so that you can help yourself or help your family member. Because I know my daughter is back to where she was and above that. And matter of fact, the other day, Lakia, she had the nerve to tell me that they not giving her enough work at school and she needs some more work. So I reached out to the counselor. And I told him, I said, hey, she wants more work. My mom was like, you think it's a good idea? I said, I don't know, but that's what she asked me for. Yeah. So then I reached out to the counselor. She had an appointment day before yesterday. I was like, did you make your appointment? Oh, I was busy. How you gonna tell me you need something and you haven't even got to the counselor? But anyway, that's a whole different story for another day. So the moral of my story is that counseling works. Counseling works. And my next question is, I know what I did when I found you, but I want to know, if somebody's looking for a counselor, what would be like about 4 or 5 keys that they need to be looking for when they're looking for that perfect fit? Oh, that fit where it's going to work with them. Because I think sometimes you get a counselor that doesn't work, whatever. So I just want to know, what do you think they should do in order to find that counselor that's for them?
Well, I think you got to know what are your expectations? What do you want in a counselor? So it doesn't matter. It's you got to think about counseling as you are getting in a relationship with someone. Okay. So, when you get in a relationship with someone, you got your check the box. I want him to be tall, dark, and handsome.
Yes.
Short, whatever you want, you write. That's the same thing you do with a counselor. You got to know what you want in a counselor, okay? And I tell everyone when they come in, I say, it's just like going on a blind date when you show up for a counselor, okay?
Yes.
You show up for that visit, you sit down, you listen to them. And I always tell people to come up with questions, ask questions. Yes. Ask questions, know what you want to know. What are you looking for? And when you show up on a blind date, if you don't like that counselor, give them the boot. It's okay. You understand. The first thing that counselors are supposed to do is establish a rapport with you, right? And if you don't feel like you're establishing a rapport with the counselor, then you don't need to be there, because you're not going to be able to open up. You want to feel safe enough to open up and tell them what's going on with you. And it's our job to make you feel welcome. So you got to know. So one of the things that I put on my list when I was looking for a counselor is I needed to feel like they know what they were doing. So I'm a therapist, right? And a therapist knows what a therapist is supposed to be doing, okay? So I goes in my counseling session and I don't want to feel like when I sit down that I gotta assess if you know what you're talking about. What? Did you just say that? No, I need to be able to let my hair down. So number one, I gotta know you know what you're talking about. Okay.
Yeah.
It's okay if your preference is for a Black therapist, white therapist, Asian therapist. It's okay. We all have our preference. You ain't got to be worried about it. Pick what you want and stick to what you like.
Exactly. Okay. I like that. Okay. So let me ask you this. So since the pandemic, what is like some of the diagnoses that you have noticed that like are like the most prevalent right now, like stuff that people don't, or better yet, people don't really realize they might have something going on, but they're really not doing anything with it.
Generalized anxiety.
Say it.
And depression.
Let's talk about it.
The pandemic has left so many people in fear. And anxiety, sometimes people are confused anxiety and panic attacks. But what anxiety is just simply worrying all the time, not being able to control the worries that you have. Worry about finances, worried about how I'm gonna pay this. You spending all types of times of the day worrying so much so that you're restless and you're not sleeping because you are overwhelmed and trying to figure out your next thing. So I've seen such an influx of anxiety and fear, and people are scared. Things are, the pandemic is scary,
Oh, absolutely.
Say that it was scary. So, but people are living in fear. They don't want to come outside. And just in case you became obsessive, because there is, of course, we want to wash our hands when we go out. But if you washing your hands when you touch everything, I can't touch my car door, or I'm scared to touch my car door, or I'm scared to go outside and I won't touch stuff, you might have OCD. So you might want to just call me. I can help you with that.
Oh, she can get you together. Yes.
But definitely. Depression was another thing. Low energy. So many people had to cancel their weddings. So many people were struggling with finances through the pandemic. People lost their job, didn't have food. They were stuck in the house with their kids. And I understand parents definitely needed a break. I know y'all love y'all kids, but being stuck in the house with kids for a long period of time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I understand. But depression is symptoms were low energy, lack of motivation. I can't focus. I'm struggling to get up out of the bed. When I do get up out of the bed, I just think about getting back in the bed because I don't want to get up. That's depression. Those are the two most prevalent diagnoses that we saw during the pandemic and continuing on now.
So let me ask you this. Let me get my cup for this one.
I should have had a cup too. Get me some water.
Yes, because we in health week, so we trying to clean the palate. What about people that are married or they're in relationships, and when the pandemic kicked in, like they was good till they had to be together that long, and they trying to figure out now that they can kind of move around, like, should I stay? Should I go? Like, how should they seek? Like, what should they do? Because I'm sure a lot of people love each other, but they didn't realize how much this person aggravates them, or how much, like, wait a minute, oh, you just a lot, like how do you, I guess, what kind of tips could you give people that are struggling with that? Or they had to move back in with somebody that they were with and they really didn't want to be there, and they still there because they trying to, get their finances in order.
I would recommend that they probably do some Well, if you're in a relationship and you don't know if you want to be in it no more,
Right.
you
Right.
might
Right.
just want to just take some time and weigh out the pros and cons.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Listen, relationships evolve. They go through cycles. No relationship will stay the same. And if somebody tell you that, they being dishonest. Because people evolve. We are
Yes.
ever changing and we're supposed to grow.
Yes.
So relationships will change. It does not mean that your relationship is over because things are changing. And another thing is people gonna get on your nerves. Okay.
Yes.
I don't care if you love them to death. They gonna get on your nerves. That's
I'm
just the
glad you
truth.
said that.
But you don't have to argue about it. If there's something that is changing and you feel like you need to work on something differently, or you have to learn how to properly talk to someone, or your needs are not being met and their needs are not being met,
Right.
counseling, couples counseling. It works. It's great.
I'm glad you said that because a lot of people don't. They like you have people in a relationship and the one person, I don't want to go, or and it's like, what does that other person do? It's like, well, things are just not good. That person's about to roll, and you don't want to try to figure out something. I don't want to talk to anybody about my problem. Well, that person's talking to you, and obviously what you got going on is not working right now. So it's like, why not? Why not try something? I guess that's different.
That you've never tried before.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You got somebody that's supposed to be a sounding board to be able to assist you, give you the tools to help you. Yeah. Okay. Well, like I told, so I want to make sure you all know that Lakia is definitely going to be back on the show because we're going to do another segment, probably in a couple of weeks, of some things because we want to continue to touch on making sure that we are good, making sure we have resources. So if you have certain questions that you want us to talk about, a certain topic that you want us to talk about the next show that we come on, definitely reach out. My information is through catsizemedia@gmail.com. So you can send the information there and we would definitely, make sure that it's a good show because we want, some people are quiet and they don't really want to talk to anybody else, but they'll email you. So for the quiet people, it's fine. It's fine. This information doesn't go in. Nobody knows what you're talking about. This is not a crazy show. This is a show about help and resources, and that's what we do. So if you're interested in that, definitely reach out and I'll make sure that we do that. Or if you're interested in scheduling something with Lakia, you can definitely reach out to her on her business page as well, so that you can see, so she can help you. She can help you. I promise you. I'm telling you out of my mouth, she's amazing. I promise you that. I try my best not to. When you see people on my show, I can promise you I go and seek my guests out myself. Nobody sends these to me unless I talk to one of my friends or my my people in my life that know somebody that would be a good fit. But I actually go and look for it because I'm like, man, this would be great for the guests because I want us to be good. That's what it is. So before we close out, I want to make sure that you give them your information and let them know if there's anything you definitely specialize in to assist them so that they can reach out to you as well.
All right. So my name is Lakeya Mitchell. I am a licensed professional counselor located in Savannah, Georgia. My office is located at 224 Stevenson Avenue, 224 Stevenson Avenue, Savannah, Georgia. You can schedule an appointment with me by calling 912-208-0049. I will repeat that again, 912-208-0049. Or you can book on my website at www.transfigurations LLC. It's Transfigurations with the S, LLC.com.
Okay. All right.
And my specialties are OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder, depression, anxiety, trauma, and couples counseling.
Okay. All right. So Lakia is giving you all her information, and we definitely want to make sure that we share this video because there is somebody out there that's silent that needs our help, and we want to be that catalyst that helps them. That's what we do here. Make sure that if you're interested in being on my show, I'm Kathleen with a K, like I said a million times. And all you got to do is just email me through Cat Size Media. Let me know, what type of business you have, because I feature entrepreneurs, nonprofits, and creative people. What's your show idea? And we will definitely talk about it. And that's all we got for you tonight. I thank you for tuning in. We're not going to hold up any more of your time. I'm sure some of you want to relax or want to eat. And plus, Lakia has been working all day, so we're going to give her a woosah, right?
Yes.
So y'all stay blessed, and we are out of here. Good night. Bye-bye.
Good night. Thank you.
You're welcome.